Probability on the SAT is not very complicated. We're basically just making a fraction. So the bottom number is where we usually start. That's the amount that we're choosing out of. So this is like the number in the group. And then this is the top number is going to be the number we want, right? So what are we choosing? So in this case, a band, this is our group, has 45 members. So that's what we are choosing out of. And then it has 11 members who play the saxophone. But be careful before we just put that there. What do they want from us? One band member is selected at random. What is the probability of selecting a band member who plays the saxophone? So they just want the saxophone players. So we want one of the 11. So we'll put 11 on top. 11 out of 45 is just my answer. Now, sometimes we need to reduce that fraction, and it's going to appear slightly different in the answer choice than the fraction that we would build ourselves. But the most common trap that we should talk about is that they give us one thing and they flip it, right? So they might say, what is the probability of a member not playing the saxophone? Okay, not playing the sax. Well, there's two ways to do it. We can take our 11 out of 45, and the way that probability works is the maximum probability you can have in any situation is 1. So we could take 1 and we could subtract 11 out of 45. So you could do that in the calculator, get a decimal, or you can kind of work with the fact that, 1 is just 45 over 45 and minus 11 over 45. So in this case, it would be 34 out of 45. Or we could have just from the start said, okay, well, the number in the group isn't changing. That's still 45. But the number that we want is the people who don't play the saxophone, which is 45 minus 11. So we could have kind of done that part on the top separately or kind of in our heads. And either way, we're still getting the same thing, 34 out of 45. And notice, that's an answer. So in this case, there really isn't a trap. I'm calling it that. But the question is straightforward. It wants exactly what you'd expect it to want. But again, I'm always thinking, what is the harder version of this question like? Where is the SAT going to try to manipulate us, right? They know that we're expecting this question, but they give us something slightly different, trying to mess with our expectations. And that's what it'll be, is they'll give us a certain number, a certain part of the group, but then they'll want the people who aren't in that group. So we have to flip it. And both of those things will be answers. So if we don't pay attention to what they're asking, we will get it wrong confidently, but we will be wrong and not notice. So just be always aware of the potential for error and check those specific things, and you're less likely to fall for those traps when they do arise.